What's up, gamers? How you doing? In this video I'll be reviewing the new Odin handheld. I got this recently about a month ago, and a shout out to my good friend Kurt, aka Gamester81 here on YouTube. I'll put a link to information on his YouTube channel. I encourage you to check him out. He helped me with the build of this as well, which I'm going to show you here in a second. This is a really cool handheld, and if you're like me, I'm still waiting for my Steam Deck. I'm on the wait list. I'm excited to get it. I've heard good things about the Steam Deck, but in my opinion, this thing is less expensive than the Steam Deck and can do just as much, if not more. So I want to show you this. There's three different versions of the Odin. Okay, you have the light version, which retails for $207 US. This is the base, which is $351, and then you have the Pro, which is about $45 more. It's a little less than $400 US for the Pro. I do regret not getting the Pro because the Pro comes with more RAM, which this has 4 gigs of RAM. The Pro has 8 gigs of RAM. It has more storage, internal storage, things like that, right? But as far as the GPU between the base and the Pro, it's all the same. The Lite has a different GPU. It's not as powerful. So in my opinion, it's worth investing the extra $150 or whatever it is difference between the Lite and the base at the very least to get a better unit. So essentially what this is a portable computer on the go. It will run off of Android. It will also run off of Windows. Kirk and I both experienced issues running Windows with what we wanted to show you with some of the emulation. So what we're showing you here, this is on Android 10. We tried Android 11. Again, we had some issues with Android 11 not really cooperating with some of the emulation that we wanted to show and have and kind of show you what we can do. So we went back down to Android 10 to show with you guys. Now in a future video, I'll show you it running on Windows, and you can do a dual boot, and you can run off both operating systems, of course, and things like that. But this is just going to be the Android 10 version I'm going to show you. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you what it came with. Now, this is shipping in August of 2022, in case you guys are curious and you want one. I'll put a link to Odin's website as well in the information so you guys can check it out. I'm not paid endorser of the product by all means, but I do think it's a really cool product. I do think if you're into gaming, this is something to check out because unlike other emulated handhelds I've messed with and have, this thing can stream Xbox Game Pass really well. It can stream Steam, for example, very well without any issues. So it's definitely powerful enough to do that, which is awesome. So essentially, you can use it for a modern gaming unit. You can also use it for retro gaming, for emulation, and all that great stuff. So let me show you what it came with. Of course, you get the unit itself. 6-inch screen. This version has a 500 milliamps battery, which will last about up to 6 hours or so, maybe 8 if depending on what you're running. It's a quick charge, which is awesome, so we'll charge within 30 minutes to an hour, which is awesome. So the battery life on this thing is awesome. The Pro model has a 6,000 milliamps battery, so the battery is a little more powerful, longer lasting, etc. if that's on the Pro. So again, I wish I invested the extra $40 or whatever, $45 for the Pro. I didn't, and what's cool about this particular version is this is kind of the color palette is Super Nintendo. You can kind of tell that. But what's really cool about it is this is an Indiegogo exclusive version, so the ones that are going to ship out after, you can't pick this up anymore, which I think is really cool. The back is all, this thing, by the way, the build quality is really good. You can kind of tell when you feel it. It's heavy. It's got some good weight to it. It's not one of those cheap clone systems, right? It's not really low quality build, even though the price is significantly less than a Steam Deck. Okay, so of course I got the unit itself. I also got, comes with a carrying case, which is awesome. This is basically just a Switch carrying case. The size itself is a slightly bigger than a Switch Lite. It's kind of between a Switch Lite and a normal Switch size-wise, so it will fit in a normal Switch case. It has a screen protector as well. I decided not to use that, but it does have a screen protector. It says it came with earphones and all that. I never saw that on mine anyway, but potentially it probably does come with it, but mine didn't come with. Has a nice, came with a case. I love the Odin logo as well. I think that's really cool. And it doesn't come with any instructions, which is odd. So this is kind of a do-it-yourself system when you get it. Obviously, powering it on, all that's pretty self-explanatory. But if you want to find like how to load games and ROMs and builds, that's kind of a do-it-yourself, like on YouTube, Google search kind of situation, right? It has 2 different wall adapters depending on what region of the world you live in. I also got this dock here. This is a dock. Let me just start by saying this. Usually $50 separate, right? I'll tell you what I really like about the dock first and foremost. I'm going to tell you what I don't like about the dock, because at the end of the day, to be honest, the dock's not really worth getting. I'll explain why in a second. But it has 2 USB 3s in the front, so you can use that for USB controllers, etc. This thing is Bluetooth, okay, which is awesome. You can have if you have a Bluetooth controller, you can when you dock it, you can totally use your Bluetooth, not an issue, right? It has, check out, this is very unique. It has 2 N64 controller ports. So yes, you can play N64 emulation on this thing, And using the dock, you can play it with the actual controllers, which is cool. On each side, if you look closely, there's 2 Gamecube ports as well, controller ports, which is very unique. So again, this thing does run Gamecube quite well. I'm going to show you some examples of the emulation later in the video, but if you have original Gamecube controllers, it has 2 ports. I think that's really cool. So 2 of each, not 4, right? But that, I think 2 is really all you need. That's awesome. On the back, it has a couple more USB 3s, and then it has like an Ethernet cable, and it has the power thing. I'm not quite sure why that's there, because this thing, believe it or not, even though it's a dock, even though it's plugged in, it will not charge the handheld, which is crazy. It's not like a switch where you put the switch in the dock and it charges it. Unfortunately, in my case, what I saw anyway, with my unit, and I'm sure it's probably the case with other units, is it doesn't charge it, okay? So it kind of renders the dock useless in that sense, which is a big problem in my opinion. On the back, you have a slot here. I took the back off here. I want to show you. It has a slot where you can put an external hard drive, which is awesome, theoretically, right? But here's the issue you have with that. Say you have an SD card. It has a slot for an SD card, or what they call a TF card, same thing. So I have a 512 gig SD card in here, right? Thousands of games. I put it in here, like so. If I have an external hard drive, this dock will no longer read my SD card. It reads what's on the hard drive, right? The workaround on that is if you have a USB drive, you just, in games or whatever on that, you can plug it in here on the USB, and then you can actually dual load from games. But if you have a hard drive in here and you have SD card, it will not read the SD card. So that's kind of a knock on the dock. So between that, now here's another thing kind of weird about the dock. It has this glass kind of, it's not like glass, plastic case here in the front. So it doesn't, when it shakes, it doesn't really move, it doesn't flap. This thing comes off, right? And you can load it when you dock it. You can see that you can have it where the screen shows on here or not. That's an option, it's up to you. So another weird thing, it has 2 HDMI port outs, right? Well, you're wondering why there's 2. One is for 4K, which is on the side here, so you can do 4K out. And if you don't have an HD or 4K TV, that's not going to work very well for you. So what you'll need, and I had to purchase separately, is, I got this on Amazon, it's an $8 cord. You plug it into the top, plug it in the system, you put HDMI out in the back, that's going to run 1080p in the back. So it doesn't automatically register that unless you have the cable that it doesn't include. But again, it was only $8, it wasn't a huge deal. Also, what you get with this thing is you have a port, of course. You have like a USB-C, you have a USB-C port, of course, to charge it. It does have a USB wall adapter too, which comes with, which is helpful. I hate when they don't include that kind of thing. In this case, it does, which is awesome. And it has kind of an adapter for HDMI. So when you want to plug it in, you don't need to use the dock. You can just plug in the top directly into your TV or monitor, and it will work. That's kind of what I prefer, to be honest with you, because that way you can kind of keep it charged at the same time and have no issue. So the dock, my opinion, worthless. It's only $50. If you want it, you think it's cool for the controller ports, it's only $50, not a huge expense. But in my opinion, I don't really use the dock. It's kind of worthless. So now I'm going to show you the handheld. We'll take a closer look at the handheld itself, right? And then I'm going to show you some emulation and what this thing can do. Kind of give you an example of the power of this thing. I think it's incredibly powerful for the price. You can do a lot of cool things. I do recommend it at the end of the day. But let's take a closer look. I'm going to show you some more things that can and can't do necessarily. We'll go from there. Thanks for watching. Okay, let's take a closer look at this sexy beast here, the Odin. Really love the feel. It's got a really cool feel to it. I don't know how to explain it. It's got kind of a nice matte finish. It does feel really good in the hands, right? You got your D-pad, your analog stick here, dual analog stick, which is awesome. Start and select. This is the home button. Of course, you have your B, A, X, Y buttons. I kind of wish, I'm just nitpicking here, I kind of wish these buttons were flopped, right? I wish the home button was on the bottom. I wish the start and select was at top. I kind of feel like start and select naturally should be in the top. I found myself at times hitting the home button by mistake, unintentionally, right, when I was trying to hit start, for example. But not a huge issue. That's kind of more of a nitpick. This is where the USB-C, this is where you can charge it. You have your headphone jack as well. It has stereo sound, stereo speakers, which is awesome down here, which is great. This is your cooling fan area here. This thing is super quiet. You have these 2 buttons here, kind of mouse buttons here, left and right click right here, which is awesome. I tend to turn those off because I tend to get in the way and I unintentionally click things. I suppose if you're playing like an adventure, like point and click game, it might come in handy. Full 6-inch screen, touch screen, which is awesome. It's extremely bright. We'll turn on here in a second. You have your R1, L1, L2, R2 buttons here, like so. your power. This is your volume. This is where the TF, they call them TF cards, I'm not quite sure, but it's your micro SD card will come here. This is where you would hook it up to port out to your TV or monitor, that cord I was talking about. So essentially, let me show you. This is your cord. It does come with this cord, which is nice. So you just plug it in like so, right? And then it has HDMI out on the other side, and you plug it in. Super good length on the cord, which is appreciated. It's not super short, which is nice. And then you can plug it in, of course, and charge it while you're playing. Battery life, as I mentioned, 6 to 8 hours, 30 minutes to an hour to recharge, quick charge, which is awesome. And overall, pretty pleased with it. So let's turn this on and show you it, how it lights up. Got to hold it down for a couple seconds to boot it up. There you go, get the nice Odin logo there. These are evolving super quickly too, by the way, guys. So, you know, this version is a base model, but even in a few years, these things are going to evolve super quick, and it's like a mini PC in the palm of your hands, which is awesome. So I love the logo, by the way. I love the Odin theme. Okay, so this is Android 10. I'm at 92% battery life right now. It says Samsung card is missing. So here is the issue that I have with my particular unit, right? So we're going to swipe up, right? It's Android. I got a whole bunch of apps and games. I'll show you in a second. It has Launchbox, so we're going to check on that. It says Launchbox keeps, okay, look, Android service library keeps stopping. Here's how you fix it. And it took us a while to figure this out, but it's really annoying. What you got to do is you got to take out the SD card, and you have to put it back in. And now it will launch. Which, I don't know, it's annoying. It's kind of a nuisance to do that. I'm not quite sure why. But notice how it lights up on the side there with the analog sticks. And, I mean, that's super, super sexy, right? I'm not quite sure, to be honest, if you can change the color on that. Right now it's set to blue. I'm not sure if there's a settings or not. So I have Launchbox. We'll go back to home. I can swipe up, for example, and I can clear it out because Android, I got to clear out the games I'm running. It has, let's see, you can run it on, let's see, Odin Launcher. So go there. These are your games as well that you can play, kind of Odin Launcher, and that's fine. It's kind of another way to run things. You can set out your performance. You can do normal, and then you can also do performance. And I'm not quite sure if the mic is picking that, but when you do performance, you kind of hear the fan turn on, so it's a little higher performance. That's how you kind of set that. You go to entertainment and productivity and games. You have different settings here. I don't tend to use this much. You can go to dark mode, light mode, right? This is light mode. That was dark mode. I don't tend to use this. This is cool, kind of unique. Is an option for you. We'll go ahead and hit home. Or actually, we're going to X out of this, quit. You guess swipe left to quit it. You can't go home and X out of it, which is kind of weird. But let's see, you got full Play Store accessibility, so everything on Android that you have on your phone, Android phone, you can do on this thing, right? You got pictures. There is no camera, right? It's not like a phone where you have a camera necessarily, so but you can load pictures and you can load music. You can go to settings here, battery, display, volume. I don't think there's an option here to change the colors, theme, or anything like that. Network, it has Bluetooth, obviously Wi-Fi, all that good stuff. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to plug this into my TV. I'm going to screen capture it while I'm actually showing this as well. There is no lag, in case you're curious, between what you see on the TV and what you see on the handheld. I do like the buttons here themselves. They do feel that these are clickable. It has rumble, internal rumble, which is also really cool. So when you're playing games like racing games or anything like that, it does have a built-in rumble effect, which is awesome. This thing can do a lot. Notice here too, when you click, I don't know if you can see it, but it is kind of soft here. I know it has a screen protector. I don't have the screen protector on here. But when, if you're touching this a little bit, you can kind of see it kind of change. It's a little soft on the side. This one's not so much on the right, but here it's a little soft. I feel like it's just one flaw, potentially. Again, I don't know why you'd be necessarily pushing that too hard, but it is feel a little soft. I'm sure if you put the screen protector on it, it'll be fine. I don't really like screen protectors in the sense because I always get like bubbles when I put them on. I don't always put them on wrong. So I'm not saying you necessarily need the screen protector, but if it's there, if you need it, it does come included. So let's show you some games. Go from there. I'm going to show you Launchbox. Here's a stop clock. Okay, we'll go back and go from there. Thanks, guys. Okay, so I have it plugged in directly to my capture device. There is an issue with my capture device. Unfortunately, the audio goes in and out. It's not very great. That's not the case if you normally plug it in directly. The audio sounds great. There's no lag, but there's an issue. Odin settings, under that, you can turn the joystick's LED lights and side lights on and off, the blue lights I showed you on the system before. I didn't see an option to change the color of those lights. I think it's just stuck on blue. I'm going to start off by showing you a couple Android games. This is Wonder Boy, The Dragon's Trap, available on Android. So all these Android games, of course, are touchscreen. You can use it using the touchscreen. You can also use it just Bluetooth controller, etc. So go play. And I like this game because you can switch between both 8-bit Sega Master System style graphics, so that's what the original game was on, and you can switch to more modern. Here's the 8-bit graphics I was showing you before, and you hit the side button, R1, and you can flawlessly switch to modern graphics, which is more hand-drawn, which is cool. So depending on what kind of mood you're in to play, same game, and controls great. Another game I'm going to show you, we'll go and close it out. I'm going to show you Badlands, or Badland. This game is really beautiful looking, actually. The graphics, I really like the art style in this game. It kind of reminds me of like a Flappy Birds on steroids, right? I just love the music and stuff. Again, unfortunately, the audio is crap here through the capture device. So I'm only going to show you a few games using this direct capture here. The image quality, though, through the capture device doesn't really appear, and you'll see later on when I show you some Xbox games, it doesn't really show, it doesn't appear to be 1080p anyway. Just look at that background. With the shadow style, too. It's super cool. So you can hold the button or you can tap the button to move up and down. That's where kind of Flappy Bird style comes into play. Much better than Flappy Bird, though. Okay, I want to show you, this is Xbox Game Pass. This is Halo Infinite. And I just want to show you visually, there's really no lag or slowdown. Audio-wise, that's another story, unfortunately, as you can tell. But I want to show you that it does play. I'm playing this directly on the handheld. You can see now, here's another game. This is a new Turtles game I just recently, this is available on Xbox Game Pass as well. I've been playing this mainly on the Switch lately, but it's cool that it's on Xbox Game Pass included. Really fun game. If you like the original Turtles games, beat up, this kind of a direct follow-up to the Turtles game. I believe the company who did this is the same company who did Scott Pilgrim vs. the World video game as well. Beat 'em up. A lot of fun. When you close out of it, you can do like a mini pick as well and play it, which is kind of interesting. Let's do Steam Link. Show you how it works. We're going to start playing City Hunter, Curse of the Mayan. This is the game that my team and I worked on. This is available on Steam, so quick shout out to the game. I want to show you how I'm playing this through Steam. The best way to explain this game would be like a Mega Man meets kind of Castlevania style gameplay. It's an 8-bit platformer. And it plays great. So I got the scan lines on, you can tell there, and no lag, no issues here playing through Steam Link. So again, you can do kind of what the Steam Deck can do essentially through the Steam Link. You just have to make sure that there's a computer in your house or around you that is connected to Steam. We'll go next. You can see here I have these other games in my library, Steam library. I can access and games that are installed. So this is all cloud gaming, of course. These games aren't directly, on my actual Odin handheld. It's all through the cloud. We'll close that out. I'm going to show you Antstream. Antstream's a really fun cloud service. It's more retro gaming as well. A lot of classic retro games you can play. You can create counts. I really highly recommend it. You check it out. If you have an Android device, it's free to play. And you can see a bunch of different games, Root Beer Tapper, etc. Super Return of the Jedi, Indiana Jones. You have the Star Wars Arcade, of course. I'm going to show you Mortal Kombat, which is classic. Again, audio is jacked up. That's the capture device. I apologize for that. Because it's through Android, there is a touch. You can use the touchscreen for controls, but I'm simply using the handheld controls. We'll play as Johnny Cage, aka Daniel Pacina, who's the actor who played Johnny Cage and Scorpion Sub-Zero, a friend of mine. Really cool dude. Yeah, that's the same actor playing both roles. No issues playing Mortal Kombat. Controls great. And the moment I unplug it from my capture device, the sound sounds normal. Okay, so here's Launchbox, and loads super quick. There's quite a few games for it to load. so it is quick and compared relative. But before I show you launch back in some emulation, I'm going to show you what it actually looks like playing Game Pass real quick on the handheld itself, just to prove to you guys that it does actually play. We're going to check out a different game though. Let's check out. Let's do Rainbow Six. Here it is. You can see I'm playing it on it. Sounds great. Feels great. Controls are great. No issues.
You have one target to take down with your React blade.
I just gotta get used to the controls real quick.
Use your React drone to locate your target.
I feel much better.
Yeah, no lag. As long as you have a decent speed, internet connection to the cloud, you really shouldn't have any issues playing. It's interesting how it shrinks it down to a screen, but if you want to get back to it, it kind of remains small like that, so you kind of have to close it out. Let's do Stadia. I want to show you this. I couldn't get this to work. Here's another Rainbow Six game. It loads and loads and loads. I couldn't get Stadia to work, unfortunately, so I just want to show you. Maybe it's my particular unit, but I couldn't get that to work for cloud gaming on this particular handheld, so I want to show you that. Now let's open Launchbox. I'll show you some good emulation here. Show you some unique emulators that typically don't run very well on other handhelds or systems. First one I'm going to show you, let's go to Atari Jaguar. I actually appreciate this console. There's a lot of bad games on this system, but there's a few golden gems on here, right? And the first one to show you is Tempest 2000. This game is a must-own for if you have a Jaguar. We'll start a new game. It starts off a little laggy to load, but once it caches and catches up, the music sounds great. It's flawless as far as controls go. So it's great. Really fun. If you played the original Tempest, this is a really fun port to play. It's updated with graphics and it looks great. And I'm using my analog stick too, which is nice. Helps the controls. This game does get progressively harder, of course, but it's super addicting. You get power-ups as well, a little different. Oh, I died. I get him. Options get the enemies that come up at you, and more stages, more enemies there are, all that good stuff. Here's Crash and Burn. This is for the 3DO. My neighbor had a 3DO, Panasonic 3DO growing up, and we used to play this game all the time. This is a racing game, Crash and Burn. This guy's funny. He's like an Australian guy. He's hilarious. He'll go race. I wanted to show you a racing game and kind of show you the frame rate and how it plays.
If you want to know my secret,
Oh, she seems mad. Okay, here we go. That's a change. Okay, it's Y buttons to go. You also have weapons in this game as well, and you can use the weapons to fire obviously at your enemies. They can attack you. You get damage. Really fun racer. One of the early games for the 3DO, and in my opinion, a must-own if you have a 3DO. Plays great. We'll go and exit. Check out this intro here. This is really cool. This is I love these intros here. This is ColecoVision, and each system shows you when the system came out. Love the load screen there. ColecoVision, love that console. Here's one for the NES. Really well done build here. Very professional made. Game Boy's cool too. Let's switch over to, I'm going to show you Goldeneye for the N64, 007. Pretty quick load. Again, it's touchscreens because it's Android built, so there'll be touchscreen as well if you want to use it, but obviously use the other controllers, much easier to play. This game was like one of the first games I played my friends, right? Multiplayer, first person. Controls, just playing a normal N64 because it's the single analog. It is a little tricky play nowadays. It's kind of dated for the controls. I want to show you how well that plays. A couple seconds to load. That's pretty standard on the system anyway. And it follows the movie fairly well. This is probably one of the better games based on movies, in my opinion. Yeah, you can see it, no issues playing. Using the analog stick. Okay, let's try a different game here. I'm going to show you some other settings here within Launchbox. Pretty cool. So when you go into a folder, you can hit the three dots in the top right corner. You can change the view as well. There's several different, probably 12, like maybe a dozen different views you can have. It's pretty cool, and they're all kind of unique, which is awesome. So you do box arts. So in some of them, you can see the gameplay as well. And change view. I'll show you some other ones. This is Atari 2600, obviously. This one's really cool. It shows you a description of the game box. Now, if there's a situation where you need to like load some manuals or video, anything like that, you hit the top right corner here, go to download missing media, and you can just download it. As long as you're connected online, it will automatically download for you. You connect it, and then you proceed with downloads, collect what you want. Super easy. Just make sure you're connected, you're signed in. All right, let's show you another emulator. Let's go to Gamecube. One of my favorites. And I'll show you one of my favorite games for the Gamecube. That's going to be, of course, Mario Kart Double Dash. One of my favorite Mario Kart games. This is one of the more unique ones because you can choose different players, 2 different ones at the same time. There's different weapons that are available as well that weren't on other Mario Kart games, but just want to show you how this plays on the Odin. So far, no issues. This game came out 20 years ago. It's crazy. It still holds up very well for being a 20-year-old game. Good Mario and Luigi. Pick the mushroom cup. And you can see runs great. We'll see what's good the gameplay here. Wow, start too early. Plays great. Curious, what are you guys' favorite Mario Kart games? Mario Kart 8 is definitely up there as well. Mario Kart 8 is one of my favorites too, but this is up there as well. So much fun. The last game I'll show you is also in Gamecube. This is a Mr. Driller. It only came out in Japan. Kind of a unique Mr. Driller game I wanted to show you. Overall, though, I do like the Odin. There are some issues with the dock, of course. There's some issues with the SD card not reading all the time. Some of the cloud systems don't work, like Stadia. But other than that, really, for the price you get for this console, what you get with it, I definitely think it's worth checking out. I'll link to their information in the information box as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Thank you very much for subscribing. We'll see you guys soon. Take care, and game on.